So hearing about those crows and Rich earlier talking about crows um, makes me think about as we get ready to have church in real life again. It seems as we're getting vaccines and things are getting better that at least by 2022 we will be able to have church in person inside in our beautiful building again. So this is a good opportunity to think about any changes we might want to make as we gather in community. How do we want to reconstitute ourselves going forward? And a good creative way to think about that, I think, is to do it through animals. Uh, Aesop was telling his fables 25 centuries ago, and people already knew that people had animal traits then and recognized animal traits in humans. So maybe that will help us get a handle on what we want our church to look like in the future. And since March is the whole lion and lamb month, I thought that might be a good way to start. Um, I think I think that lions are strong, they are untamed, they are in control. Those are all qualities that can be useful. They're also kind of dangerous and scary to those around them. Lambs are docile, meek, life-sustaining creatures. They bring milk and meat and wool to us, all of which are good things, but they are kind of meek and they need a caretaker. Um, and these crows that we just heard about, crows are watchful and protective, but maybe too much protective. So, returning to the story of the crows, sure we are. The person wrote on the, wait, Lynn, I'm slow, but I'm getting there. So the end of the crow story, the original poster came back and shared this. So to make a long story short, I called our local Audubon Society. They didn't think that feeding the crows was bad, and they suggested that the neighbors also start feeding them so they become better socialized for everyone. This plan worked, and the crows are now a beloved. I'll start that whole again. The plan worked, and the crows are now a beloved part of our community. There have been no recent dive bombings. Most amazingly, the crows may have legitimately saved my neighbor. Our city had a big ice and snow event recently. Like I said in my last post, most of my neighbors are older. One of my neighbors was walking down his steep driveway, slipped, fell, and couldn't get back up. The crows started going ballistic and were making more noise than we'd ever heard. A different neighbor went outside to see what was up with the crows, found the gentleman in his driveway. The neighbor is now mostly okay with just some serious bruises. Needless to say, the crows have been getting some high value food since then. So, having heard about some crows a bunch, let's hear about one lone wild bird as our offertory. As you click on this link and make a donation to our congregation or spend the time writing a check and sending that to the church. We do, as Ann said, appreciate whatever you are able to give us. The